Well, now the planned housing estate looking to attract Muslim families. The Islamic residential project is marketed towards South Asian migrants in one of Australia's biggest faith-based developments.
Australia's been built on bringing together a melting pot of cultures, and that's the best thing about our democracy.
They're the future communities where culture will be king.
They might feel that they can create a neighbourhood that's free of discrimination and free of misunderstanding.
Take this large block of land. It may not look like much now, but it will soon be a thriving new neighbourhood, and it's aimed directly at Islamic families.
No, I'm not surprised at all. I think that, particularly given the difficulties Muslims have had in establishing mosques, building schools, and other things that are important to them, I understand entirely saying, look, we'll have our own community where we will have fewer of those issues.
The site will be called Ikra Village, and it's been subdivided into 75 lots. There are plans to build a mosque at the centre, and 2 homes have already been completed.
This particular venture is an indication that there's a feeling out there that there's perhaps less acceptance of Muslims.
Kaysar Trad is the treasurer of the Australia Federation of Islamic Councils.
A project of this nature will allow people to be able to develop a local place of worship or a local school without too many objections from neighbours. They will not be getting in anybody's way. It is something that is within their local community.
The development is being built in Melton South in Melbourne's west. It's a suburb which has recently seen anti-Islamic protests and violence.
And we always encourage our community to live amongst mainstream society and to build friendships and promote understanding and awareness.
The lots have been purchased under Sharia law, which forbids borrowing money where interest is payable. So instead, the venture is financed by several big investors. Developers want Islamic buyers who'd prefer to live with other Muslims.
I don't have an issue at all. Just make sure that we are planning these areas properly.
Bill Kuznachuk is one of Australia's leading town planners.
I don't have a problem with it. Australia has found that its settlement post-war has been a mix of a range of ethnic cultures, and that's a good thing. It makes for the perfect minestrone from an urban planning point of view.
He says this development and other faith-based projects should be encouraged, as long as they're not built as gated communities.
Well, the most important thing of all is to make sure that it's inclusive, make sure that this particular parcel of land joins and isn't segregated from others.
Melton Council has issued permits for the housing proposal, but says in the planning applications there was no reference to the fact it was a faith-based community development.
Plan it well, and there'll be good outcomes for people that are living there.
This isn't the only culturally specific development in the works. It appears to be an emerging trend. In fact, just 20 minutes down the road from here, still in Melbourne's west, a similar project is on the way. This time targeting Australia's Indian community.
You feel at home, you feel more happier when you're together.
It's being promoted as Indian Junction, and it's spruiked as the best of both worlds, created by Indians for Indians.
This place will provide 4 generations of living together, from child to young couple to their parents to their parents.
Sunil Kumar is the developer behind the proposal, which is already attracting interest from all over the country.
My aim was that happiness could be designed by creating a development which is designed to bring happiness.
Once complete, the project is expected to include 84 apartments, an aged care facility and medical centre, an Indian supermarket and Indian restaurants, office space, a cinema, and even replicas of India's most famous landmarks, including the Taj Mahal.
It'll be $150 million when completed.
It will be built across 10 acres in the suburb of Tarneet on the outskirts of Melbourne. The development is targeted at Indian Australian retirees.
They'll be able to speak to them in their language, eat the food of their choice, so that it is all about people.
According to the proposal, residents will be able to enjoy curries with no worries, thanks to an Indian food court.
My food court would be completely vegetarian.
Similar developments have been built in the United States and the UK. Residents are encouraged to worship together, garden together, and enjoy meals and entertainment.
So loneliness is a major concern for our seniors. And this project addresses that issue.
Developer Sunil Kumar says despite some community resistance to the idea, anyone of any race or religion can live there if they want to.
What I'm going to bring here is to bring the asset-rich retirees to come and live here.
Older people need to mix up with their type of people.
Pravin Vagani says he's always wanted to live somewhere like Indian Junction and can't wait to move in.
So you get all the food organised for you.
Scores of other people from across Australia have also registered their interest.
The downside is that you begin to cut yourself off from the rest of the community, and it's harder for the other community to see who you are and what you're doing.
Professor Gary Bormer is an author and an expert in sociology.
Australia's gone a long way, it's got a long way to go, but we're much further down that track than many, many other societies, and I think that a separate community isn't particularly contributing to that.
He says developments like Indian Junction and Ikra Village could lead to cultural segregation.
It's also more difficult for the children. If children are supposed to live in Australia but are being raised in an ethnic or religious enclave, then it's harder for them to develop relationships with the rest of the society.
It really doesn't matter where you sleep. What matters is where you're living, where you're playing, where you're working, and the contribution you make.
Both of those developments are slated for completion before 2020.